In this video I'm going to explain Raiman Sukuna's powers, innate techniques, and domain expansion. The King of Curses needs no introduction. Raiman Sukuna is as powerful as he is sadistic, with his skills second only to Gojo Satoru. According to a legend, during the golden age of Jujutsu over 1,000 years ago, Sukuna was an imaginary demon. However, in reality, he was a human sorcerer. He became a cursed spirit after his death, and his curse was too severe for his corpse to be completely destroyed. His 20 unbreakable fingers, preserved in tomb wax, traveled through the years as cursed items, gaining in power over time. Sukuna was reincarnated into Yuji Itadori in the present because the latter ate one of his cursed fingers, which contained a part of his power. Let's break down Raiman Sukuna's innate techniques and domain expansion. 1. Reverse Curse Technique. Due to his intrinsic power, Sukuna holds massive amounts of cursed energy, confirming his position as the King of Curses. He was able to use his methods indefinitely during his battles without becoming exhausted. He can employ domain expansion and reverse cursed techniques to masterfully control his cursed energy. The only other being capable of both is the god Satoru Gojo himself. Sukuna can readily perform a reverse curse technique to regrow severed limbs in an instant due to his nature as a particular grade cursed spirit. Sukuna's reclaimed limbs are as strong as the rest of his body. He has the ability to go much further and heal others. This is something only Shoko Yeri is known to be able to do currently amongst Jujutsu sorcerers. 2. Binding Vow. Yuji and Sukuna have an unidentified binding vow. The King of Curses promised to resurrect the boy after his apparent death during the events of the Cursed Womb arc on 2 conditions. 1. Yuji would allow Sukuna to take control of his body for 1 minute, following which the cursed spirit would say "Enchain" and 2. Yuji would forget about the deal. Yuji was initially opposed to the binding vow, forcing Sukuna to pledge not to kill or harm anyone during that minute. However, Yuji still didn't agree with the terms, so he had a duel with the King of Curses, promising to let the deal happen if he lost. Yuji was defeated almost immediately by Sukuna, who forced him to take the binding vow. 3. Innate Techniques. Sukuna's exact techniques are unknown as of now. He has been shown to cut his targets down using his cursed energy. He can also manipulate fire in some instances. 4. Dismantle. This is the default cutting attack of Sukuna. It's usually reserved for inanimate objects, but it's also very efficient against cursed spirits. 5. Cleave. A slashing strike that adjusts based on the target's toughness and cursed energy level to take them out in one. 6. Fire Manipulation. Sukuna has the ability to manipulate and produce flames for long-range assaults. These talents outperform Jogo's, an unregistered special grade curse, or as Yuji calls him, Mount Fuji, with incredibly destructive pyrokinetic skills as its defining attribute. 7. Domain Expansion, Malevolent Shrine. Malevolent Shrine is as gorgeous as it is fatal. The setting for Sukuna's domain expansion is a Buddhist shrine. It is surrounded by bowl-shaped skulls and has horns on the roof, skulls hanging at each of the corners, mouths coming out of each side. In contrast to other forms of domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine does not create a separate space with a barrier. As a result, it is regarded as a really divine method, as it allows one to realize one's intrinsic domain without the usage of a barrier. It has been described as painting on the air instead of a canvas. When a binding vow is made by allowing an escape path, which greatly expands the effective area of the guaranteed hit, with a maximum radius of roughly 200 meters. If desired, the radius can be reduced. Sukuna can use Cleave and Dismantle to mercilessly assault anything within Malevolent Shrine's radius. Sukuna can program it to deconstruct inanimate items and cleave anything with cursed energy to cut them down automatically. In Shibuya, Sukuna used it to defeat Maharaga, destroying everything caught within its 140-meter radius in the process. Sukuna's tattoos are not just to look cool. But there is a theory. Theory argues that Sukuna can store cursed techniques in his markings. Besides we already discussed, Sukuna also boasts a bunch of secondary abilities. Since he has been alive since the Heian era, his battle knowledge and experience are out of the roof. With his reflexes, He can gauge the slightest of movements in his opponents and even predict their attacks. If Sukuna does not, in the slightest chance, evade an attack, he manages to stay perfectly fine with his high resilience too. We cannot deny Sukuna's knowledge of Jujutsu because he was a shaman earlier himself. He can figure out the curse techniques of his opponents in a few bouts. Not only that, but we also saw that he is extremely witty and knows information about Jujutsu other curses like Jogo don't. We can even say that he is close to a maestro on Jujutsu itself. That's it. For more videos, subscribe to my channel.